I'm Louise Elsome. I'm the group coordinator of the Bookworms Group. We meet once a month on a Tuesday afternoon in the Baptist Church in Market Harborough, in a lovely room called the New Horizons room. Just to give you a bit of history about the group, we've been running since January 2017, and it began as an all-female group meeting in someone's house. And this carried on up until March 2020, when of course the pandemic hit. And after that, we carried on reading every month, reading a different book every month, and just corresponding by email. Eventually we managed to set up Zoom meetings, which was very successful, and at that point a couple of men joined the group. Since then, we've met in Louise's place in Market Harbour for a while, but it did get rather noisy in there, so in the end we moved to the Baptist Church, which is an ideal venue for us. There are 12 of us in the group, which works out brilliantly because every month, every year, each of us chooses a book. So every year you've only got to think of one book to select. The only stipulation about selecting a book really is that whoever chooses it should have read it beforehand and think that it's a good book for the group to read. We read a variety of books, mainly fiction of different genres. We have tried a few non-fiction books, including Michelle Obama's autobiography called Becoming, and also Nigel Slater's book about his childhood and teenage years and how he got interested in food, and that one is called Toast. We've tried some short stories as well, some short stories by Ray Carver, the American writer. But apart from that, it is mainly fiction which we read. We've read a couple of classics, Silas Marner by George Eliot, and also Cannery Row by John Steinbeck. But on the whole, we tend to pick more contemporary fiction, some very modern and some from the last sort of 20 years, if we can, if they're not out of print, of course. We are a very lively group. We have some really interesting discussions, and I think having some men in the group now, we have 4 men and 8 women, it often gives a different perspective on the different books that we read. Sometimes the men will pick out quite surprising features about the book that perhaps some of the rest of us haven't thought about, really. We have some really lively discussions, and I have to say, from a personal point of view, it's made me read a lot more and read a variety of books that perhaps I would never have picked up. And I've really enjoyed hearing other people's viewpoints. We don't always agree with each other, but that often makes for a much more interesting and lively discussion. I usually put in a book review to the monthly magazine, and hopefully that's whetted your appetite for finding out a little bit more about our group.